Initially, I was supposed to talk about something related to my filmmaking journey, but in light of recent events, I felt that would be inappropriate, and I felt that the things that need to be addressed now take precedence over the things that I want to share. So for the past week now, protests have been going around the world in support of the Black Lives Matter movement, demanding justice for the deaths of people like George Floyd and Breonna Taylor. And although I'm not from the United States, I believe that it's important for me to show my support for the movement and to show that I stand against all forms of racial discrimination and social injustice. So far we've seen that it took around 4 days of protesting before the officers who were responsible for George Floyd's death were finally charged and arrested for his murder. At the same time, we've also seen the city of Los Angeles reallocate millions of dollars from the LAPD's budget to help communities of color. It's quite clear that some of the people needed to make these changes are listening. However, we also see that some people just don't want to listen. As of today, the people who are responsible for Breonna Taylor's death have not yet been arrested or charged for their crimes. So far from what I've heard, they're on paid administrative leave. At the same time, we've seen protesters and news reporters being tear-gassed by the police with no provocation or warning. And mind you, we're not talking about the rioters or the looters. That's a separate thing on its own. And what confuses me the most is that there are police officers who are stopping these people from peacefully protesting, who are stopping these people from demanding justice from the victims of police brutality and racial discrimination. And yet, a few months ago, when there were people protesting against the stay-at-home orders with assault rifles, nothing was done to them. That is social injustice, and that's what these people are fighting against. Black Lives Matter is not about Black Lives Mattering more, but it's the fact that Black Lives Matter too. And from what we've seen from the past few months, it's quite clear that some people may or may not feel the same way. And this is why we need to show our support. It's only when their voices are heard that change could truly happen, and we need to show that the world won't stand for racism and social injustice in our society. And while the focus is on the US, we need to make sure that the seeds of racism are not growing in our own backyard. The whole point of all this is to ensure that we can build a better world for ourselves and the next generation. No more fear, no more violence, no more deaths, no more injustice. Now, to be honest, I'm still trying to educate myself on the matter. If anyone needs resources, I'll post some links down below on where you can start, just so you can get a general understanding of what Black Lives Matter is all about and what you can do to help. Now, if you're unable to help through donating, that's okay. The websites below will show you different ways you can show your support, whether it's by watching a video or just sharing the message. Now, unfortunately, I'm not in the position to be able to help that much, but at the very least, I wanted to get this message around, and I want to show where I stand in all this. After all, as a Christian, Jesus commands us in John 13:34 to love one another, and in Isaiah 1:17 to do good, seek justice, and help the oppressed. To the people fighting this fight, I stand with you. Stay strong, and I pray that change will come soon. In the meantime, do remember that we are in the middle of a pandemic, so please make sure to keep everyone's health and safety in mind. In the meantime, let's keep pushing for change. All in all, take care, God bless, and I'll see you guys around.